Okay, so we are actually meeting after a long time. Or rather, we just had one class for this session. So I intend to take up a very light and a very small topic today, just to get you into the gear because we have to do a lot, and summer break is the best time for us, at least what I understand as of now. Right. So just to brief you about the breakup of the syllabus once more. I have the syllabus in front of me. I've kept it open. This is how it looks like. Basic awareness you have that it's 50 theory and 50 practical. And you can see that your this part is um, practical. So this entire Python programming and AI with orange data mining tool is the practical part that takes up 36 marks. And the rest are based on your files. Okay. So Viva and all that. So basic जो practical का training है that is to be done from these two portions. Okay. Now Python programming, because we had done majority of it in class 11. So it's up to you how much you want to practice. What are my expectations from you in class 12 practical exam that I'll mention. Of course, a little bit of graphs, you should be able to do a little bit of data frame handling, CSV handling, you should be able to do. And of course, this is something which will be a new thing for you, orange data mining tool. Iska usage is a graphical usage. The underlying concept is more important actually. What exactly we are trying to do in that. So वो हम जब करेंगे we'll do that. This part, whenever you get time, थोड़ा 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 करके practice करते रहना. And next month में I'll give you the project which is based on the second chapter intro also. So you'll have to work on that too a little bit. Okay. So that is the part B, which has the other chapters too. And the part A talks about these employability skills. 10 marks from each topic. It is 2 marks, but it has a few things which are very typical. You may find that, ma'am, itna sara hai for 2 marks. I understand very theoretical concepts. Certain things you know, certain things you don't know. But then we have no other option. We have to do it for the exam. Okay. And here in the part B, we have the other chapters which we take up. I'll go by unit only. So I want to do 2 chapters, 2 units of employability skills first. Today and the next day we have the class, which is on Thursday. Chota sa chota topic hai. Today you will get used to the timing also. I mean, getting up and joining for the class. And hence, I don't have much time out of that 40-minute gap. आज मैं बहुत छोटा सा एक टॉपिक कराऊंगी which will be the employability skills का first unit. Okay. Now Aditi and others have actually done this part, but even I was having that notion that it is absolutely similar to what you've done in 9-10. It is not the case that in every aspect, and you see it's written number 4. So you have 9th में number 1, 10th में number 2, 11th में number 3, and 12th में number 4. So these parts are separately defined, and there are certain things which are differently to be done for class 12 board exam. Right? So it has to be done. There's no other option. I very well understand it is nothing to do with the AI concepts actually, but then because it has to be done from the exam point of view, we will do it. ठीक है, जल्दी जल्दी करेंगे. And get the feel of the topic, get the feel of the thing, and then you can obviously write it in your own words. You can write it in your own ways also. ठीक है, except for a few concepts which are completely new, like in self-management skills, we talk about personality traits and personality disorders. Those personality disorders are something which is psychology related. You must not have studied about it at all. So वो चीज absolutely new है यहाँ पे. And like in ICT skills, we have Excel and PowerPoint skills to be developed in this case. Certain things which are new, I'll try to focus on that only. Right? So let me start with this part today. And let's see that how much we can cover. Okay. So I'm currently talking about, and this is the 4th part of your employability skills, right? Sriram, you've joined. Aditya, you're there. You people have done it in class 9th and 10th. But it is certain different things which have to be done for class 12. Okay. Now, there are three sessions in this particular communication skills, which talks about active listening. How can we actually have active listening happening? And I can absorb the discussions going around me. What things should I avoid? What things should I do in order to have a better listening capacity? Certain things about parts of speech and writing sentences also. Okay. Very small things like elements of communications are also there in the exam paper as MCQs. So I thought of putting this too. Obviously, when you want to communicate with somebody, what things are important is one sender, one receiver, two aspects to it, and there has to be a medium, which I call as the channel. And that communication can be happening through a networked environment also, as we say, computer communication, computer networks. So sender and receiver, in between, we have the networking devices and the wires and the channels, satellite ke through ho raha hai, whatever it is. Everywhere there's an encoding, decoding also involved, if not in a direct communication, but certain cases, yes. Like if I'm using a dialogue interpreter, I'm speaking in English and you understand Chinese. So there's somebody who is changing my language also, right? So that kind of an encoding, decoding happening. And the most important thing is ultimately the feedback, that whether the receiver has understood what the sender wanted to say, or he's got a different idea only. So my communication is not working fine. That means that, right? So feedback is a very, very important thing in between the sender and the receiver. Now, of course, effective communication is something we all want to happen in our day-to-day lives also, as well as in our um, professional lives too. Okay. Now, when it needs to happen, we say that there are three major components which needs to be taken care of. The message which you want to convey should be clear, should be concise, and should be, of course, based on facts. That is, it should be accurate. If you don't say things which are accurate, after twice or thrice, people will not believe you and they will not even give a heed to what you're saying. So based on facts, say something, otherwise do not. Right? Now, I've given an example here. It's from your textbook only. It talks about that somebody who wants to convey a few things has either this left side way of writing the mail or the right side way of writing the mail. Of course, when you see the right hand side, it is more streamlined, highlighted with the things which needs to be focused on. So obviously, it is more uh, better to communicate like this rather than having the things put up in sentences in a paragraph format. We always say, no, for answers also write in pointers, highlight the points which you want to highlight. I mean, which you want the person to read specifically. Okay. So that is how we want an effective communication, by keeping the things clear, concise, and accurate. Now, active listening is something we are talking about here. And we are saying that in a communication, we talk about a sender and a receiver. It could be a two-way communication also. I'm saying something, you are listening, you are saying something, I'm listening. And when that is happening, what are the various factors that affect my listening? Okay. Of course, few things are there. Like we say, the eye contact. So the moment you maintain an eye contact with the person to whom you're talking, it is things are taken up more seriously, things are happening, your mind is working, you are active, and you're actually listening. Sometimes if we are not looking at the person, then we get lost, right? And you are also conscious about it, that yes, it happens in class also. Like if your teacher is looking at you, you feel that yes, ma'am is looking at me, I have to concentrate more. Okay. Gestures. Now, gestures are something which convey a lot, and understandability भी बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ जाता है with the use of gestures. So that is something which affects. Then there are certain distractions which I should be avoiding. Whenever I'm talking to somebody, if there's a child crying, there's a mobile phone buzzing, there's some kind of a construction work going on around me, or something else going on in my mind, it'll definitely not lead to a better, I mean, good understanding of what is happening, right? So avoid the distractions. Try to be more attentive, which is very, very obvious. And feedback should always be part of your communication, because that sets up the mood, that whether you are really understanding or not, whether positive or negative. In both the cases, you should give the feedback, whether the samne wala likes it or not. But of course, it should not be something which is offending. Okay? So eye contact, gestures, avoiding the distractions, and giving an appropriate feedback without hurting anybody is certain factors which you need to keep in mind. Okay? What are the stages? Now, when you're listening, now here also that communication is happening in this class too. And I find that there are certain people at the other side of the camera and this side, and whether an active listening is happening or not depends, right? So what are the stages? You start listening, so you start receiving. At times, immediately you don't understand it. But with certain, minutes attentive listening ke saath, you start understanding what is happening. At times, you tend to remember what is being told, or you're able to even recall. Acha, if something is being asked, ki last class mein kya kiya tha, you're able to recall also. Okay? Then you are evaluating at times. It's about judging the value, quantity, importance, and the amount of something or someone, what is happening in front of you. And then, of course, again, the last is always feedback, which is my response. Okay, so these are the 5 stages we talk about. You start receiving the content, you understand, you remember, you evaluate, you judge. Acha, last time ma'am had said something about this. मैंने ये पढ़ा था. Ma'am is now saying something like this. So what is happening? What something? I'm just giving an example. So any kind of evaluation happening in your mind, or you're noting it down, you're doing some calculations, some kind of an evaluation you're doing, you're listening also at times. And the last one becomes your response. Receiving, understanding, remembering, evaluating, responding. Very basic, but yes, it can be a 2-marker question in the paper. So we have to keep in mind. Okay, 5 stages. You first start receiving, then you understand, then you remember, evaluate, and then you respond. Now, next part is they have given you an acronym kind of a thing at how do you ensure active listening. And that acronym is very simple, respect. क्या क्या है इसमें? R says remove all your distractions. What kind of distractions I said? Phone is a major thing. So अपना phone aside करके रखो whenever you are trying to listen. Otherwise, one buzz sound from the phone and you're like, oh, what's coming up there? So it distracts you. Maintain the eye contact. That will help you not to sleep. That will help you listen more attentively. That will help you concentrate more. All these are applicable in your classrooms also. Okay. Then S says that show that you are listening attentively. So you nod your head, you respond, you question, you show that yes, you are attentive. That pay attention and focus. So P is your pay attention and focus on what the speaker is saying. Same thing, that by maintaining the eye contact, by showing that you are listening, you pay attention. Empathize and feel the emotions of the speaker. That is E. That's also at times very important. Otherwise, अरे यार कुछ भी बोल रहा है, बोलने दो. You do not at times feel what the person is trying to say, which is important, definitely, to understand better. Do clarify your doubts. If you are getting a question in your mind, raise your hand and clarify your doubt. That is also very important. Just do not be a passive listening. This active listening ka term is from that only. A passive listener will just sit, look at you, listen, but uska dimag kahin aur hai. It's of no use. Okay? So when you are actively involved with your mind, you're listening, then you definitely pay attention, you feel what is happening around you, and you ultimately clarify the doubts. Okay? And you also tune yourself with the timing of the speaker. He's pausing, he's speaking, he's giving you a break, he's asking you to write something. So you tune according to the person's timing. Okay? So respect is the short thing to remember. Remove distractions, eye contact, maintenance. Show that you are listening, pay attention, empathize, clarify your doubts, and tune yourself according to the listener, according to the speaker. According to the speaker's timing of uh, humor, according to the speaker's timing of seriousness, according to the speaker's timing of speed also. At times, some people speak very fast, or sometimes some people speak very slowly. सामने वाले को लगता है यार नींद ही आ जाएगी, वो इतना धीरे धीरे बोलता है. And sometimes you feel कि बाप रे, they are running in a high speed train. आधी चीजें तो register ही नहीं हुआ, है ना? So it depends upon, of course, the speaker also, that certain features or characteristic तो उसका भी होगा ही. We cannot help it, है ना? But these are the things we have to keep in mind in order to have a better listening. Okay, moving further, we talk about certain barriers which you may have while you are listening to somebody, and how can you overcome that. Now, certain barriers are very commonly which you can talk about, or you can even think of. Definitely, you are preoccupied. इकोनॉमिक्स मैम पढ़ा रही है और अगले पीरियड में मैथ्स का टेस्ट है, तो तुम्हारे दिमाग में ट्रिग्नोमेट्रिक फंक्शंस ही घूम रहे हैं. क्वाइट अंडरस्टैंडेबल, right? Again, there's a phone shaking up and your friend is asking you to come for maybe a movie or a football match or a cricket match. So you get preoccupied with that. So that's a barrier. The distractions is a very, very big barrier. You have to keep your mindset free. Noise and visual distractions, of course. तुम कहते हो मैं टीवी देखते देखते भी I will be able to listen to my Zoom meetings and I'll be able to hear and understand. It doesn't happen. Of course, noise, a dog barking also at times creates a confusion. There's some construction works going on, and we have seen these things happen during our COVID times. I used to have construction work going on around my house, the later half when the construction part started. And there used to be so much of noise, even I couldn't concentrate, forget about the person who's listening. Right? Then there's a mindset also. With mindset, there becomes a problem that, last time मैम ने जो पढ़ाया था वो तो समझ ही नहीं आया, तो इस बार भी नहीं आएगा. And just you become casual about it कि ठीक है, let her teach. वो तो मुझे पता है, मेरे को नहीं समझ में आया. ये मैम जो बोलती हैं वो तो पता ही नहीं चलता क्या बोल के चली जाती है. I know these kind of things do happen at times. कि last time also this person was very difficult to understand, so today also I can't. And then maybe that person is giving you a very, very easy thing this time. But your mindset has kind of blocked you and you are unable to get over it. Right? And then there are certain personal factors also happening, which could be a basic liking, disliking. You don't like the face of somebody, or you don't like the way the person dresses up, or some kind of an agony, some kind of a irritation you have for that person also creates those problems. Okay. So in case when you want to show your ego at times, what we suggest is that let the person finish, then you respond. That is better. Okay. So these certain barriers are there. We all understand. We face it in our daily lives. But in a professional life, we cannot afford to have it. Meeting में अब boss की बात नहीं समझ सुनने का मन कर रहा है, but you have to listen to it. That kind of a thing. So we have to keep these things in mind for a better understanding of what's happening around. That's about active listening. Now we come down to a little bit of English. You all are aware of these things. You all know it. You know better than me. But that's just a kind of revision for us, right? Because they may give you some kind of a objective MCQ there. So वहाँ पे ऐसा ना हो कि easy चीज हो और वो हमसे छूट जाए. So for that matter, I am trying to just revise for us. So capitalization rule says that month names, I as a single word, names of people, titles, and starting letter of sentences, which is after full stop, is always a capital letters. And punctuation marks, we understand comma, full stop, question mark, exclamatory mark, apostrophe, and their uses. At times, students do get confused when we say apostrophe mark. It is this particular mark, or quotations, quotes, as we say, no? Single quote, double quote. So these are my apostrophe marks. Then your parts of speech talk about these basic types: noun, pronoun, adjective, verb, adverb. All are very well aware. And certain supporting parts of speech, we talks about articles, a and they, the, conjunctions, where we talk about joining sentences, and or. These are my conjunctions. And we use that thing for our Python language also. What are my conjunctions in the Python language? Can anybody tell me? Where I am able to join two conditions. What are those operators called? Anybody who's alive? What are those operators? What is it, Harshita?
Concat, something like that. I
No,
don't know.
concat is not the operator specifically. The set of operators, we call them as the logical operators, no? And or not, where I'm trying to join the conditions together. So those are my conjunctions of Python language. I mean, any computer language. Okay. Then we have the prepositions in, on, under, and many more. And then we have the interjections. Hi, hello, hooray. इसको हम लोग estimatory marks से work out करते हैं. ठीक है? Types of sentences, ये भी एग्जाम में पूछते हैं. Identifying the type of sentence from 4 options given. Or, I mean, the options are given, the types of sentence are the options, and the sentence is given to you as the question. So declarative statement is that simple declarations. Sun rises from the east. Declarative. Interrogative, when you are asking any question. Are you studying today? Are you going for a movie night today? Something. Question. Imperative is a command. Go and sit down. Do your homework now. And exclamation is talking about hello, hooray, sentences which start from that. ठीक है, very basic. I know you must be laughing in your mind, but then I just thought कि एक बार बता देना जरूरी है. एग्जाम में इन क्वेश्चंस के लिए मार्क्स लूज मत करना. ठीक है. सो डेक्लरेटिव, इंटरोगेटिव, इंपेरेटिव एंड एक्सक्लेमेटिव. मूविंग फर्दर डाउन, your direct and indirect speech. Significant, they ask at times to convert the sentence from direct to indirect. अब इसमें ये जो subject object वाला concept है, subject, verb and the object. ठीक है. So verb describes the action and your object is वो action किससे आप perform कर रहे हो, right? And subject is the person who's performing the action. Okay. Then you have these direct, indirect, and objects of prepositions here too. Just a few sentences will make you understand what I'm trying to say. That if I'm saying Nisha sells a laptop, so that's a direct object. ठीक है. Indirect would be a laptop is sold by Nisha, जो passive sentence की हम बात करते हैं, indirectly. And then we have the objects of preposition, where we are using the preposition words in, over, out, below, to refer to the object. Like the fisherman fell over the rail. So rail is my object here, and it is being referred to by the preposition. Okay. Joshua built Emma a fence. Emma यहाँ पे एक indirect object है. Involves something being done to something else indirectly. Right? Here we come down to your active and passive voices again. Certain examples, she wrote an email was written by her. इस तरह के conversions do come in the exam. Mohan sold a bike. The bike was sold by Mohan. ठीक है. I hope you all are aware of it.
Yes,
Isn't
ma'am.
it? Very true. Very true. I knew that. So, but these are the things which will be there in this paper also. Certain questions I picked up from your book as well as from the question papers also. So, we'll give you an idea about the kind of questions which can be asked. Like I'm saying, which of the following can be a barrier to active communication or active listening? So, it's noisy environment, not maintaining an eye contact, not being attentive. I hope you'll all say this, all of the above. है ना? Which of the following is not a stage of active listening? Stages में हमने क्या क्या किया था? Receiving, understanding, evaluating, है ना? ये सब करा था. Non-responding was not the stage. ठीक है? So it can be like 2 MCQs from the topic, or it could be 1-2 marker where you have to write the options. Stages हो या फिर conversion of active to passive हो, कुछ भी हो सकता है वैसा. ठीक है. Characteristics of an ideal message like clear, concise, accurate. इसको उठा के they have created an MCQ. Identify the subject in the sentence. The children played football. So here, football is my object. Identify the subject है पहला question, sorry. So the children is my subject and football is my object. Which of the following sentences have both indirect and direct objects? Indirect and direct objects. बताओ तो. I am working on a presentation. She bought a blue pen. The girls played cricket. He wrote a letter to his sister.
I think option D.
Yes, I also think it's option D. Because you have the sister element. Object is letter and he is the direct object. No, sorry. Letter is the direct object and sister is the indirect object. Because she is being involved into it. Which of the sentences are in passive voice? They are watching a movie. The clock was repaired by Raju. He is sleeping in the room. My pet dog bit the postman. Which is in the passive voice?
B.
My pet dog bit the postman. The postman was bitten होता है पता नहीं क्या था. Bitten by my pet dog. Please give me the name. Clock was repaired by Raju. Raju repaired the clock. I think it is B. Raju repaired the clock. You have the subject in place, verb, and the object. Raju repaired the clock is in the active voice, and the clock was repaired by Raju is the passive voice. ये जो D part है, I think this is active voice only. Bitten by जब हो जाएगा ना, if I'm correct with the word bitten, or whatever the way it should be, that will be my passive voice. So यहाँ पे clock was repaired by Raju is my passive voice. Okay, so very simple things at times also creates confusion, right? So there are some more, you can just go through that. And ये वाले questions है जो आए हुए exam paper में. Like identify the type of sentence as declarative, interrogative, exclamatory or imperative. So पहला वाला complete your work should be what? Imperative?
Declarative.
Because it is a command. It's very yummy.
Exclamatory.
Exclamatory. Did you complete your homework?
Interrogative.
Interrogative. I received the prize for the best football player. Best player in the football. Imperative. Declarative. Not imperative. I received the prize for the best player in football team. It's just a declaration you're making. मुझे prize मिला. ठीक है. Imperative is when you are being given some command. Like complete your work or sit down or do this, do that. That's imperative. This is a declaration. ठीक है. Not a stage of active listening. Non-verbal cue. This question is, just a second. Which non-verbal cue is not associated with active listening? Non-verbal means आपका gesture, है ना? Which is not verbal. So nodding in agreement is associated with active listening. Maintaining an open and welcoming body posture, that's also a part of your.
Not responding.
Why nodding in which one?
Not responding.
Where is not responding option?
Oh, sorry. I was looking at the last question.
Acha. This is the first one. Nodding in agreement is a non-verbal cue. Maintaining an open and welcoming body posture is also a gesture, which is a non-verbal cue. Checking
Number
your
three.
phone when the other person is speaking. Of course, this is
Yes.
not associated with active listening. So it's the C part. है ना? There's one more question which was been asked once. Rules for using capital letters when writing sentences in English. Those are the rules which we discussed. Name of people, name of places, any names. So that is one rule. I capital hota hai. After sentence, first letter is capital. Those are the rules. Then what does P stand for? Out of the respect. बताओ तो.
Pay
Let's
attention.
pay attention. Wow. ये थोड़ा सा ना एक दो बारी 5 minutes के लिए भी. If you open and just go through it, तो दिमाग में रह जाएगा, इसको इतना भी you don't have to really give time. But what to do, it's part of the syllabus, so we have to do it. ठीक है? So this was the first one. Now Harshita and Sriram joined little later. So I just want to remind you about what I was talking to others also in the beginning, that this is my syllabus. Okay. Part A has the communications employability skills and part B has my subject specific skills. Out of that, the practical part is, you can see here it's highlighted, Python programming and Orange data mining tool. Programming वाला part हम पूरा कर चुके हैं. डेटा माइनिंग टूल हमको करना है, उसके लिए हमें ये सेकंड चैप्टर करना थोड़ा जरूरी है. व्हेन वी अंडरस्टैंड द प्रोसेस स्टेप बाय स्टेप, इट इज जस्ट अ नो कोड टूल टू डू योर प्रोजेक्ट. Okay, and then we have the other chapters one by one we'll pick up. And employability skills mein, you can see this is the fourth part. So first part was class 9, second part was class 10, third part was class 11, then fourth part was class 12. So जो portion मैंने pick किया है, it's from their book only. So these are the parts which are to be done. So it's writing sentences, parts of speech and active listening. यही वाला portion आपका 12th वाले portion में है. ठीक है? It's just 2 marks, so it's not a very elaborate thing will be asked, but yes, छोटी छोटी चीजें हैं which we have to keep in mind. तब ध्यान नहीं आएगा तो we lose out on that. Talking about the self management has got, with the rest of the things, personality disorders, which are very very typical. Even I learned it after reading it from here. Frankly speaking, मुझे नहीं पता था, because that's part of psychology study, I think. That's something new in this part. Okay, ICT talks about, I think, PowerPoint and Excel in class 12. That's good, because it's required in your other subjects also, and those are the skills which you'll require immediately after any college or any community you join after your school. Okay, so these are the 3 things, 3 units of employability skills which you have in the July exam. So that is why I want to cover them and then move on to the subject specific skills. Okay, so for today, this was the first skill which we covered, communication skills. इतना सही है. 5-7 मिनट जब भी टाइम मिले उसको एक बार जस्ट गो थ्रू कर देना पीपीटी को, मैं डाल दूंगी जीसीआर में, सो दैट द पॉइंटर्स आर देयर इन योर माइंड. ठीक है? आई वांटेड टू स्टार्ट विद एन ईजियर थिंग so that we get into the track, and give me little time. I'll try to post more questions on these topics in the form of Google Forms, so that you can just revise and give that, attempt those questions, so that you know that yes, you understand the things and you remember. Right? I'll try to do that. मुझे थोड़ा time चाहिए उसके लिए. Correct? Tomorrow again, as I told you, I've got some work. So we meet on Thursday morning itself. This time is okay for Thursday? I'll go on day-to-day basis itself.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it fine? For others too?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I hope it's okay for Naisha and Aditi too.
Yes, ma'am.
Great. So Thursday we meet at this time. Then let's see what other timings we can work it out on. Friday also we'll meet. Friday also I'm not moving out anywhere in the morning. ठीक है? So let's try to cover up. कल हम लोग self management करेंगे and then we move on to ICT में थोड़ा आराम से कराऊंगी. Then we move on to unit 3, making machines C. जितना portion possible है, we'll try to cover it up in these holidays. ठीक है? चलेगा. Okay. Bye bye. See you on Thursday. Take care.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.